attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Welcome to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes of Wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and the Heartbreak Dude Denton, and this is our WWE WrestleMania 40 Night 1 and Night 2 review show. We're excited.
Woo! Yeah, I'm all thrusted out after that.
I know, man. That was a lot of Big E going on right there. Oh, man.
Need a smoke break.
I need a Blue Chew. All right, but sponsor us, Blue Chew. I love y'all. But yeah, let's get into this. We got to get right into it. We got a lot to cover. We did a watch along. Thank you for everyone, first off, for tuning in to all three of our watch alongs. Shout out to Ryan for joining our Stand and Deliver watch along. I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping in during Carmelo and Trick. That was a nice.
Right at the fashionably late, right?
But we had a great time. Had fun both nights. We enjoyed it. We had our man Hype up on here for the first one, and then last night we did it on our own. But we had a ton of people on there for us. You know what I mean? We're not at those levels yet, but we had a great time, man. So hopefully everyone who was on enjoyed it. Thank you. Shout out to everyone, Patrick, Joe, all the mains that are always following through with us too. You guys are always on, and we appreciate it. Even Wrestling Guy was there. I don't know where he went. He disappeared.
Yeah, no, we appreciate
went to go watch Wheezy, huh? Wrestling Guy.
All of our loyal followers and subscribers, we appreciate it. We're gonna do more. AEW has a pay-per-view coming up. We might live stream that or watch along with that one. And WWE's next one is in the afternoon U.S. time, so we'll see because they're going to France for Backlash. So
we might have Gunther. We might have Gunther somebody. We'll see. I don't want to give any spoilers if you didn't see it, but let's go through it. You ready? You're gonna pop it up. We're gonna start with night one. Give our takes. Some will go longer than others.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the match order. I know it opened with Becky and Rhea.
Yes, it did. So let's go. As always, Ryan, you can start us off. What'd you think? Do you remember a lot from it? Seemed like a decade ago.
It does. It feels like forever ago. But this was, I got to give credit to both of these women. This was one of the three best matches of the night on night one. And then I read online that Rhea Ripley had a panic attack right before the match happened, and then Becky Lynch had been battling like 102-degree fever all week and had strep throat, and yet these girls went out there and tore the house down. Even though they were, and then that couldn't have been easy for especially Becky Lynch going out in that 40-degree weather like that too to do that. So I know the ring's heated and stuff, but that entrance, it's long and cold. So kudos to both of these women. This was a fantastic match. Rhea Ripley retained. And it looked like she was going to be the only one in Judgment Day to leave with a victory, but we'll talk about that when we get to night two. But this was Rhea Ripley hangs on to her championship, and the fact that she beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39 and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40, she is putting herself up there in the upper echelon of some of the GOATs. And I think now she needs a match against Bianca Belair, who a lot of people think is one of the best of this current generation, and eventually go after Jade Cargill and some other young up and coming women as well. So the future is bright for the WWE women's division, all in general, but also on Monday Night Raw.
I fully agree with all of it. And I didn't know she had a panic. Man, I've had panic attacks, in the past, and they are awful. Feel like you're dying. I don't know if it was anxiety or what. We all suffer through it in our own ways. But props to both of them for getting through that, especially Mommy. And she looked great. Becky looked great. I thought, once again, just proving that women need more time on WWE television. I know it's gotten better. I think they do a better job in NXT, obviously, and they do a better job in AEW. So we need WWE now to kind of step it up and showcasing these women. And we'll get into that on night two as well. But The entrance as well. I like that she got a cool entrance. I mean, they both got it, but Rhea's entrance with the music was kind of a highlight of mine as well. So I dug it. Props to Rhea, the right person won for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I pulled up the quote that she gave to. She spoke during a panel at WWE World on Sunday morning, I guess, before night 2, and just said that I legit was having a straight up panic attack for 2 hours before I walked through the curtain. I was like violently shaking. I was just nervous. If you don't get nervous before you go out, especially at WrestleMania, you obviously don't love it enough. That's the way I think about it, and I'm glad that the nerves were there. So
all right, I feel that.
Kudos to her for battling through, because I don't think I could have done it. I've had panic attacks before, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to shut it down for the day. Like, I'm done. I can't do my job until tomorrow. But she went out there and tore the house down. So kudos.
I agree. All right. Second match of the night.
Which was not
that.
The ladder match.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, we got told we were wondering, right, about the split. Michael Cole. Why didn't they advertise it? I thought people would have more intrigue if they knew for a fact that, hey, you can win both, but they're both going to be separated. They're both going to be on their own things. You got it, because obviously, who won first? Waller in theory, right? So they grabbed the SmackDown.
They grabbed the SmackDown titles.
They went back to get the Raw ones, and then they got put through the table and were kind of gone for the rest of the night. But I wish I would have known more.
Yeah, the rules of this were really confusing. Because, after Grayson Waller and Austin Theory won the SmackDown titles, were they done? Do they leave the ring? Do they go up the ramp? You got your belts. See you later. And the match continues, because they kept saying the match continues until both sets of titles are grabbed. So that's what led me to think maybe they're done. But then they, like you said, they were going after both sets even after they had the SmackDown titles. And Awesome Truth ended up winning the Raw titles. R-Truth got his moment, and a lot of people were dogging that crowd for night 1 because of the weather, and they weren't as vocal because they were freezing and they're in a football stadium, and I understand that. But that pop that R-Truth got when he grabbed both of those titles and came down and it became the Raw tag team champion. It was, R-Truth deserves a WrestleMania moment where he's not a comedy gimmick, and this was as good as it gets, and it was, that pop he got was significantly loud, and it's well deserved for a guy like R-Truth, who's been around since the early 2000s. He's been around a long time. So kudos to him. Kudos to the Miz. It seems like people are genuinely liking the Miz now. Like last year, he was getting beaten up by Snoop Dogg, and Shane McMahon tried to fight him, and Pat McAfee was beating him up, and he was the guest host of WrestleMania. And this year, man, people are. I know it's because he's teaming with R-Truth, but he's full on babyface mode right now, and he's killing it. He's killing it too.
No host this year. I just realized that when you brought that up. No host. Yeah. That's the first time in a while, and they had a stand and deliver host.
I thought for sure that would be like a CM Punk role or something. Yeah, he would have been perfect for that.
Well, he had a good role nonetheless. I also, we need to get rid of the football stadiums. I've been saying this forever. We talked about it beforehand with Bray Wyatt coming out in broad daylight, and when they had Taker come out in broad daylight. It just takes away. You need the closed roof. You need the arena vibe at a WrestleMania. I know we want to put as many people in seats as possible, but SoFi's covered. There are huge places that do it, and I think WWE needs to tell people, yo, if you can't put a roof over it, then we're not going. I truly think it takes away. It's not the crowd. The cheering didn't really do it for me. I don't even pay attention to the announcers and stuff. That's just my opinion. I know people say it brings you different things, but like UFC and stuff, I always think it brings me I want my own opinion. So sometimes just hearing my own self. So I don't always like to hear everything going on, or I tune it out. So that wasn't it. It was just the atmosphere. I don't like seeing guys wrestle in daytime. It just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Athletic,
especially for darker characters like the Judgment Day, or we'll talk about it in night 2 with a certain dead man who made an appearance at the end. Imagine if that had happened at 6 o'clock in the evening. We would have seen him. Like we would have been, there he is. So even if all the lights had went out. So but this was a good way to split the titles, and now it looks like we have separate. Now we need to get new tag team championships.
Please, it's about time.
Yeah. And they need to change the name of the titles too, because we don't have the Raw Women's Championship anymore. We don't have the SmackDown Women's Championship anymore. So I know that we have the Raw Tag Team Championships and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think they need to change the name of the titles. Maybe do like a World Tag Team Champion and just a WWE Tag Team Champion or something along those lines, just to go with the cohesive unit with the rest of the brand.
Yeah, I agree. And this match was a banger. Good spot.
Yeah,
I knew these teams were going to show. It's hard to have 12 dudes in here trying to put on a ladder match, but they did their part. The right two teams won, and so far I'm 3 for 3 on predictions, bro. 3 for 3 so far.
My predictions were awful, but I stand by them.
Yes, sir. All right, next up, we got the brothers.
I think this was Jimmy and Jay.
Poor Jay and Jimmy. Jay and Jimmy.
These guys, man. These guys have known each other their entire lives. They're brothers. They've been in the tag team division for so many years. And when they were in the ring against each other, it looked like they were wrestling each other they were wrestling each other for the very first time, but they had no chemistry with each other. They were missing stuff and they just weren't clicking. And like, I don't know, something was very off in this match. And I don't want to blame, I know people are always, other matches went long and they didn't have enough time. They didn't get to it's WrestleMania. Like we're not going to do that here, but these guys it just didn't click. And Jay gets the victory, which I think Jimmy needed the win a little bit more than Jay did. But yeah, Jay got the win, and it feels like this match was kind of the dud of night one.
I think it was the only dud, period. I think all the other matches had something but this. And here's the thing. We'll get into it in a match at night 2, but it was Super Kick City, and I don't like to see people do finisher after finisher after it's just not my cup of tea. And I did like Jay's splash at the end. He like turned himself like completely around to like hit him. It was a kind of cool in the air thing. This put me at 3-1. I predicted Jimmy. I still stand by that as well. I think Jimmy should have won. So Jay didn't need it, but the crowd liked it. So it is, did they? I don't know. But it was what it was. I'm about to go back-to-back losses right here. So
So this was.
Don't even get me started.
You say that match was the only dud. I think this one was a dud too, and I know a lot of people liked. I like the match. The wrestling
match was good. Yeah,
but it's the outcome and like the result and the way it happened that took it out of me. So this was a huge dud for me. But it's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, which he was then replaced at the last minute by Andrade, and for no reason.
By injury. We never found out.
Against
maybe later.
Yeah. He took on Santos and Dominic Mysterio, and it looked like Santos and Dominic were going to get the victory over Andrade and Rey. And then all of a sudden, 2 masked goons come out, and they're really tall, lanky white guys that come out, and they're wearing like Rey Mysterio masks, and they attack Santos and they attack Dominic Mysterio. And it turns out it was none other than Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Lane Johnson.
They got a huge pop from the crowd, the Philadelphia faithful, but they ended up costing Santos took the pin. Rey Mysterio is now 2-0 officially against his son. And I feel like they should have given Dominic the win. They should have allowed Dominic to pin Rey, because Santos already has a win over Rey. They should have allowed Dominic to get the pin on Rey and then set up for the rubber match either at SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania, where maybe Dominic actually retires Rey this time or something. But now what's the point of them ever facing again? Rey is 2-0 against his own son. So yeah, and the fact that they had outside help from the Philadelphia Eagles, it was just dumb. It was just a way to, I don't know. I would have rather that spot had gone to somebody else. Like give if you want Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson at WrestleMania, that's fine. Just like last year, George Kittle came out and helped Pat McAfee beat up The Miz. But that I was fine with that. That wasn't a problem. But doing this in the middle of a match when there's going to be is Jason Kelsey WWE bound now? Are we going to get Dominic versus Jason Kelsey at Backlash? Are we going to get a tag match between Santos and Dominic versus Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson? Probably not. So what was the point?
I don't know. I thought it was atrocious. I liked the match, and I thought it was a very, very bad look for Dirty Dom. He's been doing nothing but improving in the ring, on the mic. He's easily top 2 heels in the business. and you have him lose again due to a Jason Kelsey who gives a crap about Jason Kelsey? I get Philadelphia Eagle fans. He's literally Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother. That's who that guy is. Like, nobody gives a crap because he got drunk at the Super Bowl. Now he's a thing. He's a lineman. Nobody cares about linemen. He didn't become a thing until Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift became a thing. And now people are going to go, well, no, he was. Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't a good football player. Yes, he's one of the best. But his position, he was never somebody. So the fact that you brought this guy out
he's
here
a podcast
as
host.
with his brother, no one even knew that until Taylor Swift. So unless you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, you don't really care about this guy. So why bring him out? That's my whole thing. Like, Snoop Dogg coming out in Philly made no sense, but Snoop Dogg's a name, so at least it's like a big deal, right? Like Jason, I don't know. I hate the hometown thing. Like, at least we didn't get that. Like, you didn't have like Matthew Stafford come out last year and punch Dirty Dom in the face. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid.
That's the other thing. Like, people are like, the WrestleMania crowd, they come in from all over the world. It's not just Philadelphia people. They're coming in from all over the world. They're coming in from all over the country. And yet, I'm sure half of those people didn't know who Jason Kelsey or Lane Johnson were.
I still don't know who Lane Johnson is.
Yeah,
I watch football.
I think he's the center. He's a lineman or defensive lineman or somebody for the Eagles. But he was on Pat McAfee show this morning. That's how I knew that.
Got it. All right, move on. I don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. All right.
Not that one. Let's do.
Nope.
Nope, not that one. It was the Jade Cargill match.
Night.
Yep, here we go.
There it is. All right. And the women showing again. I felt bad for these girls, actually, just because the other two matches are so phenomenal, and we'll get into it. But they still brought it. Jade was nervous, but she still showed out. It was cool vibing. I like seeing Jade next to Bianca to see, because Bianca's a big, strong woman, and Jade makes her kind of look small. I liked it. I thought it fit in. I thought it was a good match. I didn't hate it. I give it like a B out of an overall rating. I thought it was a good time, and Damage Control needed to lose, and hopefully now, after we talk about night 2, that maybe they'll break apart. But are we getting anything from this? Are we getting a Jade turn, or is this a crew now? Are we getting, are they taking over for Damage Control? What's going on? And Dakota Kai is sexy, just so you know.
Oh yeah, Dakota Kai, maybe the hottest chick at WrestleMania. Bayley was looked good too.
She was.
Rhea was fired. So but Dakota's up there. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing with these women. I keep hoping and praying that Bianca Belair is going to turn on Jade, because I think that's the match we all want to see, is Jade versus Bianca. And kind of do what they did with Bayley and Damage Control, where Naomi's caught in the middle, and whose side she going to be on? Is she going to team with Jade? Is she going to team with Bianca? I think they need to build a little bit more chemistry and team a little bit longer before that actually happens, so it actually means something. So it's not going to happen on Raw tonight or SmackDown this week. I think it needs to happen right around SummerSlam or so. But I'm curious to see what happens, because Asuka and Kairi Sane still have the women's tag team championship. So are Bianca?
Oh, they do.
And Naomi going to keep those belts? Are they going to go after those titles? Is this the end of Damage Control? Who knows? So, but I thought this match was okay. I give it about a B too, because the other women showed out for sure.
They did. But I'm glad. I mean, obviously we put this on just so women got a time to shine at WrestleMania. But
and Jade looked good.
She did. She always has, man.
Her hairstyle was. I like her with the longer hair a little bit better, but
that's like
but that's
real
just
hair,
me.
right?
Yeah.
I think that was. Oh, we didn't even talk about Rhea's hair.
Oh yeah. Rhea's extensions.
Some extensions with the long hair. Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Let's get into the match of the night. I'll let you go first. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was Sami Zayn versus Gunther, and for the Intercontinental Championship, and I loved it. Sami Zayn is now the Intercontinental Champion. He is the streak ender, or the reign ender, because he ended the Usos' long championship reign at WrestleMania 39. And now he ends Gunther's 666-day reign as Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania.
How do you like that?
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
I don't break that now. Are they like, uh-oh, that was awful?
Yeah, I don't know if they meant for that to happen, or is Gunther going to become like a dark character now? Like, I don't know. But this was the match of the night. I mean, that brain buster that Sami Zayn hit on Gunther, at first I think we all thought, did he botch that? But apparently that's how the move is really supposed to go. That was like, he was doing that long before he came to WWE. He was doing it in his
Yeah.
El Generico days. So, and that's how it's supposed to look. It just looked painful. Yeah, it was just a phenomenal match. I wish there was a little bit more Chad Gable involved. I wish that there was no Ludwig Kaiser either with Gunther. So
Yeah.
I wish that more Imperium stuff could have occurred. And I like the entrance of Sami Zayn too, where he was walking in through the backstage and he was bumping in. He bumped into Chad Gable. We did see him there. But I wish that Chad Gable was at ringside with him. And then he bumped into Kevin Owens right in the gorilla position, and Kevin Owens like grabbed him and hugged him and told him this is your moment. And he went out and got it. So Sami Zayn is the new Intercontinental Champion on Monday Night Raw. So curious to see where this goes. I really thought it should have been Chad Gable to end Gunther's reign, because I think it would have mattered more for Chad. But Sami's the perfect Intercontinental Champion for the WWE.
Yeah, I talked to Patrick about this too in a text, because he was saying about how he feels this way about how he did with Brock Lesnar beating the streak, that it didn't need to be Brock. It should have been someone up and coming, and it should have been the same for Chad Gable defeating Gunther. One, is Sami Zayn the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world, or just Intercontinental Champion? Secondly, I said this before, and I stand by it. It's not my opinion. I feel like the WWE just didn't think Chad was a big enough name to dethrone Gunther. I think this is a better way of getting him in their eyes. That Sami Zayn was that dude. People believe that he can win. He won. No one's like spilling milk over it. They get that Sami Zayn, someone who's headlined WrestleMania before and is one champ, can beat Gunther. So I just feel like it just feels more real. And now he'll probably go on and lose to Chad Gable at some point. He's going to keep teaching him and coaching him probably, and Ruha, and then he's going to turn on him, and we'll probably get a Chad Gable turn, dude. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's a guy
happens.
who needs a heel run. He's fantastic when he's a heel. So yeah, that's going to happen. And and maybe that'll mean more for Chad Gable to beat Sami Zayn than it would Gunther.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
because Sami Zayn has main evented Manias before and everything.
Yeah.
So, but great match, and
yes, sir.
That was the next to last match on the card, because the last one of the night was my favorite match of the night. Was the tag team match between Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins versus the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and the final boss, The Rock.
Yes, sir.
I don't think this was like I said, I think Sami Zayn versus Gunther was the match of the night in terms of just match quality and everything. But this was my favorite match of the night. And just in terms of storytelling and everything, it was good. And all those naysayers out there who said that The Rock he's going to go out there and get hurt in his first match, and he can't go, and he's out of shape, and he's not, he gets winded after doing a rock bottom to Jinder Mahal. All those naysayers out there, you owe The Rock an apology, because that man, he's 51 years old and he brought it. That may have been the best Rock match that we've had ever. But I know it was a tag match and he wasn't in there for very, very long, but he still brought it, man. And it was good stuff. And he ended up pinning Cody Rhodes at the end of night 1 to set up bloodline rules for night 2 against Cody and Roman.
And I predicted that as well. So I'll go 5 for 2 on night 1. But I don't know if it was his best ever. I've seen The Rock wrestle live at some WrestleMania. Stone Cold that were.
I shouldn't say best ever, but best, like the Cena matches. This blew that one out of the water. And
Cena never has.
The 15-second Bray Wyatt match that he had, this clearly beats that one. So I guess the best
in the past
that
10 years
recently.
Or so. Yeah. I agree with that. No, when he brought it, he looked good, man. I'm a straight male, but I was like, get it, Rock. He was just like looking like a specimen out there. Him and Roman, they delivered. Seth and Cody delivered. This was perfectly done. I think this was more perfectly done than the main event on night 2, even though I loved the main event. But I think this was more well executed, with Rock pinning Cody, with all that, with the way they delivered, went outside of the ring, back in. It was just a masterpiece. So yeah, props to them.
I like The Rock throwing his title around. He was yelling at the ref. He was like, "If you count, you're fired. You hear me? If you count, you're fired." So he was throwing that around, really being laying into his heel character. He was selling like he's always sold well, like with the Stone Cold Stunner and everything. But when Roman Reigns inadvertently hit him with that spear, which maybe that may come back to bite him on Raw or SmackDown later this week. But when Roman hit him with that spear, the self job from The Rock. Like he looked like he was in significant pain.
And Roman too, looking like in shock, like, oh crap, what did I do? Like all of it was really.
Roman's facial expressions have always been fantastic.
Oh, he's always the best. Yeah, Rock's entrance too stole the night. 100%. And we didn't talk about Little Wayne being there too, so he did a little intro for Jay too. So it was nice to see these cool. One of the cool things about Mania. Definitely.
Yeah, Rock's entrance was fire. It was awesome. So, but yeah, these 4 guys showed out, and it was foreshadowing for night 2. But The Rock ended up pinning Cody Rhodes with the People's Elbow.
All right, let's get into night 2. What'd you think? What do you rate night 1 overall?
So I rated night 1. I'm going to get some heat for this, but I rated it a 6 out of 10. Just because the Bianca Belair match and the Jimmy versus Jey Uso match, to me, and the ending of the Dirty Dom match, those 3 matches, like they weren't bad matches. Like the Jimmy Jey was bad, but the other matches, they weren't bad, but they just didn't feel like WrestleMania to me. It didn't feel like watching night 1. I felt like I was watching, outside of the 3, the Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley and the main event and Sami Gunther, I felt like I was watching a Backlash or a Payback pay-per-view more so than I was watching WrestleMania. So it just didn't get me all in my feels like night 2 did. So that's why I give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm going 8. I give it an 8 out of 10. I still stand by that, even talking about it. I can't get mad at results.
Yeah.
So wrestling-wise, entertainment-wise, 8 out of 10, I think it was. But WrestleMania Night 2 is going to be a whole different story. And it started off with a banger. Well, sort of. So Drew and Seth.
So it opened with Drew and Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Seth came out with like a worldwide entrance of something, or it was representing multiple cultures, which was it was cool.
It was.
We were talking during it, so maybe the commentary was explaining it a little bit, but I didn't really quite get it, but I liked it. And then Drew McIntyre came out with bagpipes and everything, and that was really cool. Luckily, so and the match begins, and it was just. I'm going to be honest. I was disappointed in the match. It was just finishers. It was what the Rock versus John Cena was 2014, where it was like 15 rock bottoms and a bunch of FUs, and then a people's elbow, and then a kick out, and then a Samoan drop. So this was a bunch of claymores and super kicks and curb stomps. And we get on to AEW about no selling. There was hardly any selling in this match. At one point, Drew McIntyre was curb stomped on the commentary table, on one of the announce tables, whether the Spanish announce table or the Pat McAfee announce table, but it was one of them. And then like 5 seconds later, he's like up and running, and he hits Seth Rollins with a claymore, and then of course Seth Rollins like kicks out too. So it's just like okay, what are we doing? But Drew McIntyre ended up pinning Seth Rollins. He finally hit him with his like 19th claymore and pinned him. 1, 2, 3, become the new World Heavyweight Champion. And one cool moment too was in the middle of the match, Drew McIntyre went over to what was his girlfriend or his wife, and we thought he was taking a selfie. So he grabbed her phone and we thought he was taking a selfie. Turns out he was tweeting live in the middle of the match, and he wrote "LOL, bored at work," and then he handed it back to her and went back into the ring. So that was pretty cool.
Dude is a genius.
Yeah, and so he wins the World Heavyweight Championship and immediately goes over to CM Punk and starts trash talking him, because CM Punk was the guest commentator. And, Punk was delivering some lines back. He's like, I've never heard a crowd chant somebody else's name, even though I'm the new champion. You're the new champion. Drew McIntyre was saying, I want this shot framed on my wall. And he's like staring down CM Punk. And Drew McIntyre. Great TV. Yeah, Drew McIntyre did the suck it sign. CM Punk got up and took off his brace on his arm, so revealing that maybe he's fully healthy and he's ready to make a comeback, or he's on the mend and he's coming back soon. But he attacked Drew McIntyre with the brace, and that set up for Damian Priest to come out. And Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank, cashed instantly. He came out, and the first thing he did was hit Drew McIntyre with the briefcase to knock him down again. And then he got got into the ring, told him he was cashing in the briefcase, and chokeslammed Drew McIntyre and pinned him 1, 2, 3 to walk out as the new World Heavyweight Champion. And that was incredible. It was, I think that, like you said in your video, that was your moment of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was my moment of the night too, just because we've been clowning Damian Priest for the, cashing in the middle of the matches. And when is he ever going to cash in? If there was ever a time, it's now. And he just hasn't done it. He's not going to do it successfully. He proved all of us wrong. He went out there and, again, the formula in WWE is if you lose a match earlier in the night or on night one, and you have money in the bank, you're more likely going to cash in successfully.
Yep.
I mean, that's happened a bunch of times, but yeah, it was cool how it was done. And Damian Priest is our World Heavyweight Champion, with Mommy being the Women's World Champion. So hopefully this means more good things for Judgment Day on the horizon.
Well, it's funny because after night one, I was like, well, that's the end of Judgment Day, right? They lost their tag titles. The Dom lost again. Rhea was unhappy, this and that. And then, boom, we started off. They all celebrate at the ramp together. They're hugging. They're happy. They all put their hands up together. That doesn't look like a team who's going to break up tomorrow or anytime soon. And I don't think they should. Now with Priest as the champ, let's run with it. Priest looked good as the champ. I liked it all. You forgot to say, though, but that Drew did have a moment. He sat in the ring. He was like half crying, kissing the belt. He had his, so they let him have
Seth,
his moment.
There was one part where the camera panned to Seth Rollins.
You deserve it.
Yeah, he you could read his lips. He said, "You fucking deserve it, bro." So, yeah, he was in tears too. So it was a cool moment. Drew got his moment in front of fans, and I hate that it only lasted 90 seconds or 5 minutes or however long it was, but he still got
like my girlfriend. Yeah, I agree. And the best part is that it shows that Punk, they don't want Punk to have the championship because they wanted Drew and Punk to have a rivalry without the title. That's what I got out of this. Maybe they'll go back and win it later, but Priest got a moment no matter how long he has the championship for. I think he should keep it. I'm hoping this is finally the time that Judgment Day is going to be a threat moving forward. Seth, the first time this has been done at WrestleMania since Seth, so only 2 times they've cashed in, technically at a WrestleMania, I believe, or a moment like this at least, with Damian coming in. I thought it was a pretty close to him and Seth too. I mean, I know Seth was first, so it can't be better, but this was pretty damn close. I liked it all. I agree with you with the match. I hate AEW no sell finishers after finisher, and I hated that for this, but they made up for it in the end and made this match kind of an all-time classic now, especially with the Drew and CM and everything else. So
yeah, it was
good
cool
way
stuff.
to start off night one.
Yeah, and I think you're onto something. I think they want to do Drew McIntyre versus Punk without the title because Punk can't stay healthy, and I don't think they want to risk putting the title on CM Punk and then he gets hurt again. So maybe his injury risk is coming into factor here. I don't know.
Well, no, but didn't you hear the whole reason why Rollins, Drew, and Becky all lost is because they're all going to AEW next week. So they want to go where the big boys play. We're the best wrestle.
Yeah, Drew is clearly pissed off, and he's going to be all elite now. So whatever. Stupid.
So excited for them 3 to be in all elite. I can't wait. Seth Rollins, the total WWE company man, going over there, and Becky just wrote a book, like basically made by WWE. She's going straight to AEW. I can't wait. Twitter,
release the tape.
Thank you, Twitter.
Release the footage.
So, all right, we had a special in this. We had some Bully Ray coming out. Well, he came out as Bubba Ray Dudley, but he was the special rep because it was in Philadelphia, and I thought this match was fun. It didn't need to be an all-time classic. The right people won. They gave me a good time.
Yeah.
I like them doing the table spot with Bully and all that, and Bully doing the pin, and he seemed to really enjoy it. And I'm sure his Twitter has been blowing up with hate because now he's a company WWE man. I'm sure I haven't listened to Busted Open, but I'm sure they're all on him about that probably. I knew you were. Yeah, that's why you hate AEW.
He's been blowing up there. I saw one that said that Ariel Helwani, Bubba Ray, and Pat McAfee are all owned by the WWE, and yet they work for different podcasting groups or different media outlets so the WWE can control the narrative. And
it was like that guy who commented on us who was mad because we were dogging AEW, and he literally told me in the comments that, no, you waste your time and do it just because you want to hate. Yeah, that's what I do. I spend hours of my life taking notes, doing a podcast, and watching wrestling so I can insult it. Yeah, because that's what Bully Ray's doing over at
just
Busted
because
Open, where he has a show dedicated to AEW. Yeah.
Just because we're criticizing something doesn't mean we hate it. We want it to be better. But
we just
people don't
criticized
seem-
WrestleMania Night 1.
Yeah.
Does that mean I hate WWE now? It's so stupid.
Probably,
People are stupid.
You're a shill. You're an AEW nut hugger now.
I am, dude. I am. But yeah, this
Thank
match
God
is
for
good.
Tony
Not much to
Khan.
talk about, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, thank God. I've saw that so much on X. Thank God after watching WrestleMania Night 2. That was
Yeah.
awful.
All week-
Thank you, Tony Khan.
All week long, WWE was taking shots at AEW. So thank God for Tony Khan for taking the high road. Whatever.
Yeah, what was with that? These people on these content creators too, because Triple H answered questions and said, I don't even want to get into that. We talked about it on our watch along. It's so stupid. To think that you're a corporate person or a sellout because you have to work hard for your money. And we live in such a weak ass generation, dude. Yes, you work hard. That's what you do in life.
No, yeah, it's terrible. But this was a good match. I wish Karrion Kross would have gotten the win just because you brought the AOP back and for their first WrestleMania and they didn't get the win. But I think the right people. I still think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits deserve the win.
Yep. All right, I'm 2 for 2. I don't count the Drew McIntyre as a loss, or Damian Priest, just so you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going 2 for 2 right now. You 2 for 2 as well. I think you predicted both of those.
Yeah.
And then here's the match that everyone slept on. I remember I got grief saying that I supported this match. People on TikTok and so on said I was stupid. But like I said, if you think about it, LA Knight's never had a big win, literally, ever. He got his big win. And this match excelled. This is an A match right here. This match was phenomenal. I liked LA Knight during this match. I hate his finisher, but the right person won. The crowd was into it. They
AJ
brought
Styles
it
has
like I
new
knew
theme
they
music.
would. Well, yeah. Well, now he's all elite too, so he's also good.
Yeah,
Everyone who lost is going all elite. If you didn't know, yeah, they're all elite.
Adam Jones is all elite. Or Alan Jones, I think is his name. But
Alan who? Alan Jones. Jones. You can have some fun with that.
But yeah, this match was good. I had no qualms about it. No issues with it. I don't know how I feel about AJ's new theme, but I loved his "We Don't Want None." I love that theme song. But the new one,
He's a bad guy now.
Yeah, he's gonna have heel music, so I get it. But yeah, this match was great. Kudos to LA Knight for finally getting a huge win that he needed.
I agree.
Now he can move into the title picture.
Maybe Logan Paul. He's still champ. Well, is he? I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. Right now, but
let's talk about it.
What do you want to talk about? All right, go ahead. What'd you think?
Oh,
well, let's talk about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn because we got fooled.
Yeah. So they did the same entrance for Kevin Owens that they did for Sami Zayn, where they pan to the crowd or pan through the backstage, and Kevin Owens is met by Sami Zayn at Gorilla, and he says, "It's your moment now. Go out and get him." And they hug, they embrace, and then they have the match, and Logan Paul retains. So it made me think. It made me think like, okay, maybe like I could see them putting the belt on Kevin Owens, and he wins the U.S. champion. Sami has the IC title. They're keeping their little relationship alive. They're trying to outdo each other on their respective brands or whatever. But yeah, and not only that, but Kevin Owens took the pinfall. So it was just like, okay, why? What was the point of that little embrace? But Logan Paul, man, the man's a stud. The man's a beast. You said that he has his frog splash. It might be better than Eddie Guerrero's, but he had a really good frog.
And RVD. I got crap for that last night. Yeah.
But the one that he hit was beautiful. But his
hands like slapped the back of his head. He was so like in a frog position. It was insane.
Yeah, it was well done. It was a beautiful frog splash. I don't know if he's ready to. He's got to do it regularly. That's the only thing. But for it to be better than Eddie Guerrero, but. Yeah, it was. These men showed out. I wish that Randy Orton would have gotten the win just to win the belt that he's never won before. But you can't change. I mean, you can't change every single title. And it was smart to have Logan Paul retain, and now maybe he can move on to go after LA Knight, or LA Knight can come after him.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe why they pivoted. Maybe that's why they added Kevin Owens. Maybe they thought afterwards, like, we can't just have every title change, because if it was Logan and Randy, Logan wasn't going to beat Randy.
Oh no,
1-on-1.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but Logan, I'm glad he's getting wins. He was like carrying everybody before and losing for it. Now he's starting to get some wins and establishing himself. And, the Prime bottle was there again. And it was just good stuff. This was another great match. Good on them.
Yeah, no, it was great stuff. Great stuff. And then the the women's championship match, which should have main evented night 1 of WrestleMania, was Bayley versus Io Sky. I think we all predicted that Bayley was going to come out victorious. It was the writing was on the wall, but she did, and she looked great doing it. And the match was good. People sleep on Io Sky, how great she is in the ring.
Yep.
But yeah, this was a fire match. Bayley got her WrestleMania moment, and she is the new women's champion. And I'm curious to see now, is damage control still a thing? Does who's Bayley's first opponent going to be? Is somebody coming back like a Charlotte Flair to go after her? Or she was all over the Hall of Fame. I don't think she had a brace on her knee, so maybe she might be ready. Or does she continue this whole thing with damage control? So curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, I thought this was the match of the night, honestly. I thought this was my favorite match. Not my favorite moment, but my favorite match. That I think they proved to everybody that they should have headlined night 1. They tore the house down. It had the story behind it. It had the talent in the ring. It was so well done. I think they rematch at the next pay-per-view or PLE, and then Bayley wins again and moves on. But I'm excited for Bayley's run, man. I'm excited to see where she goes with it. And her last world title reign was kind of during COVID, so I want to see her have another opportunity to carry the belt once again with audiences. And it was a great night for a lot of new champions. And Bayley was like a Drew moment, and then a Priest moment. It felt like the same, even though she's been champion many times. It felt like it was her first time. It was pretty cool. Good stuff on Bayley. I'm glad and this is her first real WrestleMania moment. So
yeah, especially with everything she's been through over the last couple of years. They brought damage control in, but they lost every match they were in, and Bayley was taking pins, and then all of a sudden she had like a little bit of a winning streak. Then she lost again, and then it was just the 50-50 booking they were doing with her, and then she wins the Rumble. And yeah, I mean, it all pays off. It just shows you that in the WWE, hard work does pay off. And just because you're treated as a jobber, or not even a jobber, but just because you're not being used correctly right now, doesn't mean that it won't pay off for you in a year from now or 2 years from now. So it just shows that a little patience is key. And that was the key. The case with Bayley.
Fully agree with you. All right.
And then the elephant in the room, the biggest match of the night, probably the biggest match of all time. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns to the main event of night 2, Bloodline Rules, which really didn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
Not until the very end, but yeah.
Yeah. But, man, I don't know where to begin with this.
Yeah.
The entrances, Cody Rhodes came out up the Cody Vader with a mask on, like a skull type mask on that looked pretty cool. He looked intimidating, and I was like, okay, I can get behind that. And then Roman Reigns came out with an orchestra band playing the drums. It was like a local high school, I guess, that was playing him in.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool. Roman looked jacked, probably the best he's looked in a long time. Like, you could see abs with Roman Reigns, and normally you don't see his abs. Oh, I didn't think he was dropping it. I really didn't think this.
No, you didn't the whole match.
I didn't. Well,
only person in the world.
I secretly knew Cody Rhodes was winning. I think I was just in denial, and he just didn't. And Roman did not look like a guy that was dropping the belt. I mean, he looked like he was in the best shape of his life. I guess you got to get up for WrestleMania, and I get that, but yeah, he was in the best shape, and I was like, he can't drop the belt when he looks like that. But so Cody Rhodes ends up finishing the story. We got interference from a bunch of different people. So Jimmy Uso came out after Cody Rhodes hit Roman with two crossroads, and then Jimmy Uso came out and super kicked Cody, and then
of course
Jey Uso came out and beat up his brother again, and he like speared him off like the stage, and they went both.
The best moment for them. Yeah,
that was their moment of the weekend right there. So Jey took care of Jimmy, and then later on, Solo Sikoa came out,
same spot as last year here,
and attacked Cody Rhodes. And then at one point, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa spear spiked Cody, which. That was pretty nasty. It was a cool move, and I was like, okay, there's no way he's kicking out of that, and he did. And, like, because again, that's what they do, man. Everybody kicks out of each other's finishers now. So then after Solo Sikoa came out, there was bum 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 bum. John Cena came out, and John Cena came out and took care of Solo Sikoa, beat him, put him down, and then he grabs Roman Reigns and hits him with an attitude adjustment through the Spanish announce table. And so that led to The Rock coming out. And The Rock comes out and he's pissed off at John Cena, wondering what he's doing, sticking his nose in the bloodline business. They have a cool little moment where they stare each other down, clearly setting up for WrestleMania 41, because that's what the big content creators are saying, that it's going to be John Cena versus The Rock at 41. But The Rock then hits him with The Rock hits John Cena with a rock bottom, and the crowd popped. The crowd popped for that. That was a cool moment. That was a beautiful rock bottom from The Rock. And The Rock, his outfits, man, his outfits have been fire. And he looked great in this one too. And then all of a sudden we hear the gong and the lights go out.
And the glass breaks and the gong.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No glass breaking, which whatever. But the gong hits, and The Rock he's looking up at the stage. He's dropping F-bombs. He's telling them to bring it. You can read his lips. He's clearly like, bring it on, you old, like, it was cool stuff. And then The Undertaker is right behind him in his American Badass gear. And the Rock turns around and The Undertaker hits him with a choke slam. And then the lights go out again and The Rock is nowhere to be seen. And it just leaves. And then the Shield music hits. I forgot about the Shield. And at one point, you and I thought Jon Moxley was back. Dean Ambrose was back in the WWE. But it was Seth Rollins in full Shield getup, and he comes out with a chair and then immediately gets Superman punched by Roman Reigns, which like served no purpose whatsoever. And then later on, Roman has the chair. So after the Undertaker takes out The Rock, it's just the last three in the ring are Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. And Seth Rollins brought a chair to the ring. Roman Reigns takes him out. He grabs the chair, and then he turns around and hits Seth Rollins with the chair, the same way that Seth turned on Roman when he turned on the Shield. And Seth fell the exact same way, hit the bottom rope the exact same way. And Roman then throws the chair away for some reason instead of using it again on Cody Rhodes. And he sets up for a spear on Cody Rhodes, and Cody counters with not one, not two, but three crossroads. And that's a wrap for Roman Reigns and his championship reign. Cody beats him, finishes his story, and becomes the new undisputed Universal Champion in WWE.
Yeah. So I enjoyed everything up until I got why Cena came out. Him and Solo have history, and The Rock and Cena have history. Taker felt like a reach, like we need somebody, and Stone Cold doesn't want to do it. So let's just Taker and Rock. I know they rep, but that was
there's
stupid.
people.
I hear people. So I don't even want to hear.
He was the final boss in the WWE.
Yeah.
He was the final boss of WrestleMania. Then The Rock is the final. Like it was a reach. It was Stone Cold wasn't available, so we reached out to the Undertaker, and it served no purpose. And I thought it was way overbooked, and I think
Me too.
And then not only that, but after the match, Cody Rhodes, he's celebrating in the ring. He then pulls like a sting and calls out everybody and their mom after his retirement speech, and he even brings Triple H out. And he's in the ring being held up by Randy Orton, who comes out. Sami Zayn
but Randy
comes
and him
out.
have history.
Yeah. I get that. Sami Zayn with the he beat the bloodline. Jey Uso was out there magically fine after being put through a table. Who else was that? CM Punk was out there for some reason. It was just
so dumb.
Like he was like, "Hey guys, hi, I'm over here. Remember me?" I'm sure if Bryan Danielson and Edge were still there, they would have been there. It was like everybody that he beat. Kevin Owens was there. But then they brought out Triple H, and him and Triple H are dapping it up, and they're hugging, and I liked the ending. I did. The only thing I didn't like was the lack of acknowledgement for Roman Reigns. They did nothing. Like they didn't even show. I think they showed the camera angle one time on Roman as Cody was celebrating, and like The Rock was like helping him up.
Helping him up. Yeah.
And then they quickly panned away and went back to Cody Rhodes. And apparently there's a video on X of a fan who took a video of Roman walking up the ramp, and you could like he was like overwhelmed with emotion, and then Paul Heyman just embraces him at the top of the stage, and they hug for like 35 seconds before going back into the gorilla position.
And why was that not aired?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I agree with you. That was my thing too, is that this was hard for Roman, and not in the fact that he lost his belt, but it's the end of an era for him. This dude's been champion for almost 4 years, and you don't give him a standing O. You couldn't have Cody do all that stupid stuff and then leave the ring, and then have The Rock finally help Roman up and get him in the ring and have everyone cheer him and have Paul and him embrace and The Rock embrace him. Like, why couldn't you give Roman that moment? And I don't buy into he'll get it on SmackDown. No, it needed to be at WrestleMania. And I thought that was a really big miss on Triple H's part.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was like they tried to make it like it shouldn't have. The last 4 years shouldn't have happened, or they want to erase them real quick because it's a new era. But we wouldn't have. The WWE was as popular as it's ever been because of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline story, and it was as mainstream as it's ever been because of Roman Reigns. He carried them through the pandemic. He made wrestling fun to watch again with the story. He brought back long-term storytelling, something we've been yearning for in the wrestling community, and he brought it back. And yet, in 1,316 days as champion, and you don't even acknowledge that. You don't even even on commentary, there were people. I think Pat McAfee was. You can tell they don't script the commentary teams anymore. But Pat McAfee was like, "I wonder what's next for Roman and the Bloodline." And Michael Cole says, "Who cares?" Like just like little things like that. Just I don't know. But it was Cody's moment. I get it. I'm happy for Cody Rhodes. I'm curious to see what happens next with him. We'll find out on Raw. Hopefully, it's a big Monday Night Raw as we have 2 new world champions and we
got all sorts of new world champions. Yeah,
we usher in this great new era. But I'm excited for Cody. I mean, he deserves it. Cody Rhodes, the man, is second to none. Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, is phenomenal. Cody Rhodes on the mic is wonderful. It's just the way he's been booked that I haven't been a fan of. But I'm curious to see how he does as champion. I'm curious to see if this means we get Cody and Rock at SummerSlam for the title. And then that gets us Rock versus Roman next year for like the real tribal chief or something. So I don't know. There's a lot. And Triple H said in his press conference that there's a lot more story to tell with Roman Reigns, and he's going to be involved in a new story that's going to blow people's minds. So we'll see what happens. But I thought it was a miss on Triple H.
Me too. And it's obviously finishing the Bloodline story. But I'll close out with this. Props to Cody. Let's see if he is that dude. I asked that on TikTok. I'm sure people will take it the wrong way, but I'm being honest. Is he that guy? Will ratings dip? Will ratings stay? Will ratings go up? I'm excited to find out. Let's see. All the Cody crybabies out there who wanted him to have it. And I'm not saying that, I did quotations because I'd never called them Cody crybaby, but the fans out there of Cody, if they got what they wanted, now let's see. This isn't going to be like everybody else, right? We always want a champion and we die for it. And then when they become champion, then we like turn on them, right? Happens all the time in wrestling.
Did it with Seth Rollins.
Do it with everybody. Do it with freaking everybody. So let's see how it works with Cody. I'm excited, but I want to put the one up. I want to acknowledge Roman Reigns.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dude did his thing. Props to Roman. I'm proud of you as a fan, and like you said, the Bloodline storyline's the best story that maybe ever happened in wrestling. I still think it probably is the best story ever in wrestling. So, props to him. Think of all the forgotten.
People say that he didn't build any stars, but Jey Uso's a star because of Roman Reigns. Jimmy Uso's a star.
Cody's a star.
Cody's a star. Sami Zayn is bigger than he's ever been because he turned on the Bloodline. Solo will be a star. So there's all kinds of stars were made. Drew McIntyre, because of his association with the Bloodline, is big as he's ever been. So this is we'll never see anything like this for a long, long time in the WWE.
No. And let's see, is it Gunther Cody or Gunther Damian? We'll see moving forward, but I know Gunther's moving on to bigger and better things. I'm excited. I'm excited for Raw. Don't hit me up with anything because I watch it late because I'm West Coast, but I'm excited to dip into it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who watched along. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back Thursday for WWE. We'll talk all things this Monday Night Raw and NXT, baby, because we got the Stand and Deliver comebacks. I'm excited for that. And then AEW, will they, won't they show the video? We'll talk about Collision, Rampage, and Dynamite. Let's see, AEW got to stay relevant, right, during WrestleMania week. And
will Dustin Rhodes, more importantly, will Dustin Rhodes finish his story as well? Because he's wrestling Samoa Joe on Dynamite. So, he's wrestling.
Why did he talk and do all that if he wasn't even going to be there? But we didn't mention Brandy Rhodes, too, and she looked good, and I was glad Brandy was there. Walked out Cody and was there afterwards. that was cool. Does that mean she's signed with WWE now? I don't know, but I would love it. I've always liked Brandy Rhodes. So
yeah, apparently Dustin Rhodes was there, and so was Ricky Starks. They were in.
Oh,
they just weren't.
Yeah, okay.
They were in. They were up in the like a booth or something, but
like
they
what
weren't.
Bayley and them were doing. Yeah.
But you would have thought that, like, come on, like, let Dustin go down and celebrate with his brother. But you know, I'm sure there's reasons
Both
that they didn't
sides,
allow that to happen. So
yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm the Heartbreak Dude, Denton. You can catch me at HBD Denton on everything social media wise. And with me, as always, is the new Intercontinental Champion.
That's right. Ryan enjoys wrestling. RE-Dub. Go follow us on social media at 2 Dudes with Attitudes on TikTok, at 2 Dudes PC on X, and then go follow all of our individual socials. Where our ats are right here. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, you know what to do. Leave us a 5-star rating and review, and subscribe on YouTube. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, and now the goal is to get to 2,000. So the more love we get, the more comments we get, the better the algorithm feels about us, and the more our content gets seen. So this is going to be our year, man. We're blowing up, and like I've said before, 2024 is the year of the dudes.
I agree. 2 Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes. Let's go. 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the 2 dudes with the attitudes will bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.